Later this week, the Winona County History Center will host a national traveling exhibit which commemorates the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. Assistant Director Jennifer Weaver has details about the exhibit.
We are going to be hosting Civil War 150, and it is an exhibit that's traveling around the United States, and we are one of its locations, so we're excited about that. It's a smaller exhibit, it's a panel exhibit, and it talks about the history of the Civil War through letters and written documents. And so it's really through the eyes of people who experienced it more than historians look at it. So it'll be really interesting to see that point of view. It's also going to be accompanied by some funding to do some really great programming. So we're going to be having a reenactor from the Minnesota Historical Society come down for the opening, which is September 16th. And at 6 p.m., we're going to host Charlie Goddard, who was a teenage Civil War soldier who is from Winona. So the reenactor will be portraying him. It's very much geared towards children, but of course, all ages are welcome. But it will be a really great experience for some families to come and explore the museum, see the exhibit, and have a really fun presentation with Charlie Goddard. Charlie Goddard was a teenager and signed up to be a soldier at a very young age. I believe it was 16. And he went off and fought. He was wounded but survived and came back. And unfortunately died when he was in his early 20s, either from complications from his wounds, kind of sickly from coming back. But we have a lot of information because his mother was Catherine Goddard Smith, who was an early pioneer and wrote him a lot of letters, and he wrote back. And so because those survived, we know about him. We also have some letters from another soldier, Matthew Marvin. Those are in our collection. And so really, you know, those got saved, and so his story is known. And so Charlie Goddard is really the soldier that we know a lot about from our area. I mean, there's even a book, The Soldier's Heart, written for young teenagers that's about Charlie. The Last Full Measure also includes stories about him in as well. So there's some local popular novels that are even written on him. So he's pretty well known, especially in Minnesota, and the experiences he had during the Civil War. So I will definitely explore some of his sides of the story and compare it to those that are shared in the traveling exhibit too. Getting traveling exhibits, the process varies. It's kind of like getting a grant. You have to apply for it. So we tell them the interests that we think Winona has on the topic of the exhibit, you know, what kind of space we have, what kind of security we have, that sort of thing. And so if we meet all the criteria and kind of, you know, make our case that this is going to be a successful exhibit in this area and the people here will benefit from it and learn from it, then we get selected. So it's a really great honor to be able to have these traveling exhibits come through. And Civil War 150 is a national traveling exhibit. Sometimes we'll get some that just travel within Minnesota or the Midwest. So this is kind of a big deal for us. We're going to supplement it with some artifacts from our own collection. We recently had artifacts from the War Eagle, which was a paddle wheel steamboat that sank at La Crosse, that did haul troops and supplies during the Civil War. The Historical Society here actually did a dive in the 1960s to recover some artifacts from the shipwreck. And so those have been down in La Crosse for decades, and now they returned back up here to the Winona County Historical Society. And so we're excited to bring those out to the public locally and tie those in with some of the accounts of local people as well, and their experiences with the Civil War, including Charlie Goddard.